On today's DNVR Nuggets podcast, Vogt leaves ESPN, Mike Singer joins the Denver Nuggets, and Jamal Murray is doing MMA again.
Also, who guards Nikola Jokic the most? Who guards him the best?
New uniforms rumored for the Denver Nuggets. We'll break them down.
And I'm back from vacation.
This is DNVR Nuggets.
Look a little fucking cracked out.
Very sad. Very sad indeed. Oh, baby, we're back. What is everybody? Welcome to the DNVR show. Let's go.
Let the man ice
Let
up.
him cook. That's right. Live from the Toyota Lounge. Driven by your Front Range Toyota stores. Toyota, the official vehicle of DNVR. The squad is back together.
We
Wow.
back.
Look
Beep,
at us.
beep.
Dev is here spiritually.
Missing only Dev.
He's around.
Back
somewhere.
from the first man to ever go on vacation, Brendan Vogt.
Yeah, I want to thank everyone for the support.
Support.
Never thought we'd send a man overseas, but we did it. I had a
Man.
great time over there. Italy, I don't know if you guys have beautiful country. Yeah, I don't know if you guys have heard that, but there's some sightseeing to do.
Most people don't feel that, but controversial take.
Yeah. Contrary to belief, Italy worth checking out.
You're glowing. You look, you look amazing. You look way younger.
Thank you.
I can't wait for 1 week from that when you're right back.
Just weathered and bitter. It won't take long.
Over here, D. Lanco.
That's right, guys. I went nowhere. I just went home, back to work, back to home.
Yeah.
Lines are blurred. I'm not sure which is which.
That's a great point. You've slept here, you've worked there.
I
So
don't
what's what?
know.
And then lastly, the man with the wind in his hair, Harrison Wind.
I think we need an Italian player on the Nuggets because based off what I saw from Vogt's Italian vacation,
Yeah, we should go there next.
we need to send the fellas there.
We should go there
Where
next.
is the number one? Like you could pick a country. For me, it might be Australia, just because we have so many homies
Maybe
there, and I
just
want to
like
go.
it's a state, but Hawaii would be cool.
Should we keep yearly trips to?
We're just moving
Maui?
to Hawaii.
That ends
do you
up being
think?
more expensive than Serbia.
I'm trying to think about it. You know what? Serbia. That's right. Pander time.
There's great pandering. Great pandering. Guys, I don't know if you knew this. Hopefully you did. We are 1 week away from Media Day.
Yeah.
1 week. Feels close, doesn't it?
It does feel close.
Yeah,
It
a
feels-
week is not a lot of time.
It feels very close. It feels very close. And I was thinking it's time to start preparing questions, boys, because this is maybe the first time in a long time that I'm not just interested about like, oh, let's get to the basketball. You know,
Right.
there's a lot to talk about with these Nuggets. I'm very curious what the vibe is. Very curious what good questions you guys come up with. What vibe Russell Westbrook brings to Media Day.
Oh, man.
And just to see the fellas again, because I think last time we saw them, they looked like they needed a break.
You know
So what
who's
will they
not
look like now?
interested in that at all? Our guest on yesterday's show, Ogi Stojakovic. That was one of the funniest things. I can't remember if we asked it during or after or whatever, but it was just, what do you expect the mood to be? And he's like, it's basketball. And it's hilarious because it really does paint the difference between like the media and the fans and everyone outside and the people inside of like, is the mood going to be energetic? It's like, guys, it's...
Well, it really is like if we brought like a teacher on and we're like, hey, school year's about to start. What do you think the vibe's going to be like? And it's like, what do you mean?
the school year.
Yeah, like we're going to deal with a bunch of kids.
All those sixth graders, really, they were just stewing in their, misery over the summer.
It's true.
They want to redeem themselves for what they did last year.
I liked it. I like the vibe stuff though, man. It's not going to tell you everything you need to know about a team, but I don't know. It's just interesting sometimes to get a sense of where they're at mentally. How excited is everyone to go to work? Sometimes that vibe is in the air, and sometimes it's maybe like it's not so much excited first day of school so much as it's I have to be here again.
Yeah.
I'm just curious. It's not that we'll necessarily learn anything too important, but it's just been a while since that we saw them. It was a disappointing and frustrating end to the season. So what do things look like and feel like now? It's crazy to think we'll get a taste of it so quickly, so soon.
One new update, though, to the Denver Nuggets as we arrive next Thursday. We might see a new yet familiar face on staff for the Nuggets, and that is, of course, formerly Denver Post's Mike Singer, terrific beat reporter, obviously the author of the Jokic book that comes out here very shortly. But they hired him to a very strange role. at least a strange title. Director of Intelligence and Strategy, which I saw this news pop out, and we've seen this before from media people going over to the side, and so obviously talk to some people, get some intel on what it is. The job, because I've seen people say it's like Lee Jenkins's role, it's communication, to the fan base. I actually think, as it's been explained to me, it's more of an intelligence job. Every front office has this. People who kind of gain and gather intelligence around the league. What is what are people saying about this player? What's the dynamic there? Who's on the trade block? Those types of things. So I believe Director of Intelligence, that's the type of intel that we're talking about here.
Yeah. I mean, look, teams are always looking for an extra edge and that type of thing. And especially with Woj retiring, maybe one of the directors of intelligence in the NBA is no longer.
That's a great point.
So teams need a read on what rival teams are doing when it comes to free agency, the draft, trade rumors and whatnot. And obviously Mike has a ton of connections all across the league, so it makes sense in that regard. But yeah, I mean, intelligence. We should hire a director of intelligence, I think. Or that might be D-line. I don't know.
Oh, God, we're screwed.
I don't know why an insult has to be baked into everything we say. You're right, though. That it is like it really is honestly like the first thing that I read. It's like comical. You're like, what?
Well, Director of Intelligence is typically like the CIA.
That's what I mean. Like it sounds like incredibly lofty, but who else? It makes sense. Like somebody whose job has been just calling and getting people, just prying information, this, that, to be able to do reporting. So interesting. We'll see what if it's noticeable to us.
I really, really, really liked Wynn's point. I was going to go the same way with it. That was honestly Woj's like most powerful function as a figure in the NBA.
Yeah.
Even more so than just really breaking news, which if you stop and think about it, we'd all get eventually. But it was the currency of information. He was the 31st organization, and they all used him. He was everyone's director of intelligence. Now, you had to navigate the fact that everyone also sort of had a hand in that pot or wanted to or whatever it is. But how interesting it is that with this news, it's also kind of lines up with the Nuggets kind of wanting their own guy to operate in that capacity. He's got the Rolodex. It's what he's done for a living. It's interesting. Be interested to see what kind of impact, if any, it has. Not something we'll be able really to measure from the outside, but it is interesting now. This as more and more teams and organizations, and even programs like St. Bonaventure are finding ways to tap into the value that people with this kind of Rolodex that have been around the league forever can provide, and not just necessarily analysis or news.
A front office, and now we've been around, for a decade, in this. The front offices are a lot like a team where there's not just a one way to build a thing, one thing to do. There are jobs you have to cover, and certain people cover 2 or 3 over here, 2 or 3 over here, but you need to have a full, all-encompassing, touch all bases. And I think that, one of the differences, and this is just my opinion, this is not some, this is just my, what I noticed or what I believe. Tim Conley, I think, was such that was one of his skill sets, is he just knew everyone. He was such a people person. He talks to he's kind of a natural talker. Like, I don't think he's ever quiet for more than 5-10 seconds. He's just talking, and had connections. And so, like, that's a strength. We always talk about, Cal and Tim both have their strengths, both have things that I think are really impressive about them and how they approach it. But I do think Intel was one area that at least I personally had thought about. Is this an area that the Nuggets have all bases covered? So Singer, obviously phenomenal at that. He is also a super networker. He was that as a reporter. He was great at knowing what kind of questions to ask to get intel from people, and that was really a strength. So kind of cool to see him go from one side to the other. Woj dropped the bomb, though, in a similar vein, that he, as you alluded to, is out at ESPN, which is so wild because, one, by all accounts, nobody saw this coming.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, ESPN completely got surprised by this. You can imagine Woj's life sucks because he is constantly on and, like, he is just an information broker. And in his letter, he referenced, like, it's time for me to unplug. And it's weird to think of a robot wanting to be unplugged. That was my first thought, as I was like, Woj, I thought that was his life. And he couldn't turn it off. But it turns out he wanted out.
Yeah, man. It's going to be a little weird, to be honest. Like, Woj was such a fabric of NBA discourse for our entire career so far.
Yeah.
Like, he kind of shaped everything that happens in the NBA. It really ran through him, largely. So I don't know, like, what's going to happen. Is, somebody going to take his place? Like, who's going to be the next
course
Woj type deal? It's just going to be a little weird, I feel like. But also, it's probably not going to matter at all.
I just hope we get somebody with a easier name to pronounce. Like also like Woj.
Nobody calls Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Yeah, but they would be nice if Shams is his name. You know what I mean?
Sharania.
Yeah, but Shams.
Well, Woj.
But I'm just saying. But the thing about
they're one name type of guys.
But the thing about Woj is he's literally just a mouth. Like he doesn't add anything to what he's doing. We're not going to. This is going to be a new guy. Like it's just like a new mouthpiece.
Can we become? Yeah,
it's like a big deal, but it's probably not going to matter at all.
Dude, it's just like his job is like a GM is like, hey, we're trying to move this guy. He's like,
it impacts the teams more than us. Like we were just saying. Like it honestly does. That's the piece that's missing now. Is this guy more than anyone, including Shams, was not just, he didn't just relay information. He had influence over how things played out, and that will change now. So that part is really, really interesting. Also love the idea that working in college athletics is a step back. That's how much his job was a lot. But I think, I was thinking about that. These guys evolved with the job. Like the job evolved in real time, and they evolved with it to be at the top of it. But there was a time when Woj was just a columnist, which is a lot of work in and of itself. So,
just a columnist.
Yeah. Well, I just mean in terms of like
prestige.
Yeah, but also lifestyle. And I think like all of a sudden there's all this money in doing this thing, and it consumes your entire life. And it is crazy that there was like this point of reflection, honestly, still this early in his professional career, to just realize I don't want to do this anymore. As I watched, and I'm not trying to be weird, just earnest thought. Like you see Shams in Vegas and stuff, and he's always sitting by himself.
Totally.
Way off by himself because he's busy with like 4 phones. And you're just thinking, that doesn't look fun.
Bro, I went to dinner with Mark Stein, and we were at a steakhouse, and he just had 2 phones out the whole time. He was like,
yeah, check. Like, and it's, it's not, I know some people online have rightfully pushed back on, he hasn't been plodding down into the mines every day. It's still sports media work, but that is a 24/7 clock, and to be off of it is probably relief.
Yeah.
Here's my thing, man. And this is like, I wouldn't have said this 3 days ago because Woj would have me fired from my job somehow. He had that kind of power. I remember when George Steinbrenner died, and the whole world came out to be like, he was a wonderful man. He's a great, great man. I was like, no, he's not.
Yeah, right.
My thing with Woj is he's very impressive of what he did. I think he ruined media. Like, to me, that's so hilarious that we're 24 hours into this, like, performative, oh my God, we're going to lose a guy. I'm like, guys, he made everything worse. ESPN couldn't talk about anything because he had this control over it. So to me, I look at this and I go, Woj might have been a great guy in person, this or that. But my hope is not what you said, that it's just a vacuum that now will be filled by someone else. Maybe not. Because I do think that he was especially good at this. And sometimes you lose someone and there's nobody to replace it at that level. And I hope not, because I hate how much his influence held ESPN hostage. And ESPN is the most important media company to the NBA. So I hear the news and I go, I'm a little hopeful that we're a little more free to actually talk about stuff.
What if nobody broke any news anymore and we just found out on,
press releases?
Day 1 of the preseason who's on the team?
Or what about local media? Just local media breaks. That's how it used to be, is that there was 50 or 100 newsbreakers, they all have it. Instead of one who not only breaks all the news, but then controls the main outlet for the story. To me, that's what's crazy.
Teams just run out for warm-ups. Oh, DeAndre Jordan's back on the team. Damn, we lost KCP? Darn.
It's at least my little hope. I will tell you that Ethan Strauss, who I always is very plugged into the rumor mill and scuttlebutt going on about the business dealings behind the scenes, does not believe that Woj is going to be gone for long.
Really?
And that maybe this is just a little hiatus. Where did he go?
St.
Bonaventure.
In what role?
GM of the basketball program.
What did we just talk about Singer was hired for? intel, very valuable skill to have in the NBA.
Yeah.
You got the number one intelligence officer of all time is going to the minors to be a GM. Could this be a short little reprieve, but come back and now you're a GM of the Knicks or something?
Really?
Or it could be a passion project too. He is a
of course.
By the way, my parents are Bonnie. Shout out St. Bonaventure.
GM of the Knicks.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, the Knicks probably not. But actually, ironically, who is GM of the Knicks? Leon Rose, who was a power broker, CAA, but a information power broker.
This is that is interesting.
Theory.
Conspiracy theory, Kale?
Interesting.
Also, my parents hated St. Bonaventure, but you know,
Here, I'll shout to them. Also, they hated
also
it.
they kind of hated it.
I mean, bringing back St. Bonaventure from the dead versus breaking the news that the Nuggets are re-signing Vlatko Čančar.
There you go.
But
I'm just saying, man, to me, the idea of GM Woj, owner LeBron, all of this thing, this might be the future of the NBA. Think about you go through the draft right now, 40% of the players drafted are just kids of former players. I look at it and I go, we might be in just Woj owns a team, LeBron owns a team,
man,
I mean,
you started out hopeful. Now I'm more depressed.
Well, I mean, would you rather have LeBron own a team or Robert Sarver?
That's true.
Well, does this end with Woj just as president of the United States? Because I don't sign up for this. I don't.
He just gets there because he knows what everybody's doing.
Yeah.
Woj
Somehow he just outmaneuvers everybody because he's got the intel.
I'm just saying the
and then
Nuggets
Shams is tweeting that he's got COVID.
A year from now, the Nuggets front office might be president of basketball operations Wojnarowski, GM Mike Singer. That might be how it goes. All right, let's take
so much intelligence. We're the most intelligent team.
Let's take a break. On the other side, real quickie on Jamal Murray and his preseason workouts before we get into some other details about Jokic and who guards him.
Guys, check out our friends over at Red Hawk Roofing. Quality materials, decades of experience, quick response time. Colorado's best estimators and contractors. So if you have any roofing needs, home or business, give these guys a call. Hit them up. They're the best at what they do. And they're also Colorado people. They're Denver guys. They root for the Nuggets, the Broncos, the Avs. You'll probably see them at the bar here from time to time. And they're huge DNVR supporters. So if you have any needs for your roof, home, business, give them a call. Free, no obligation roof and property inspections. Free in-depth photo reports for all inspections as well. If you have questions about your roof, if you've never dealt with it before and you're putting it off, stop and give them a call. Denver's best roofers, they're on the DNVR team. Supporting your local teams means also supporting local businesses like Red Hawk Roofing. If you're looking for a new roof over your home or business, be sure to check out redhawkroofing.com, 720-771-8921.
You know, some people go to Europe, they get all excited to tell you everything that they have over there that we don't in the States. Well, I want to take a second to talk to you about what we have in the States that they don't over there, and that's Bet365, where it's never ordinary.
It actually started in Europe. But that's fine.
Hang on.
Right.
Also, I'm pretty sure you can do it in Italy. That would have been a good segue. I wanted to bet on college football.
I think you're going to talk about ice and beverages.
Air conditioning.
Air conditioning. No, it was a segue into an ad read that I botched. Because Bet365 did start in Europe where they pioneered live betting. So I probably could have done it in Italy. But I couldn't watch college football because I was on a different time zone. And that stunk. So that's not relevant to the read, but you should know that. Anyway, with Bet365, it's never ordinary. Whatever the moment is, it's never ordinary. They don't believe in that. Every day they power up the odds on hundreds of bets to give you a chance to win with over 10,000 boosts every month. They boost specific markets, your winnings, and even parlays. Keep an eye out for their custom DNVR bets and boosts. And, look, if you've been sticking around with this show, you know all about the different kind of NBA offers they give you, like the early payout offer. You can win a game even if your team blows a 20-point lead. You can win a bet. That's nice. Right now, new customers can choose between two offers when they open an account at Bet365. Use the code DNVR365 to sign up. Deposit $10. Choose between either the bet and get offer or a first bet safety net offer. And then again, keep your eyes peeled for more of those great offers like the NBA early payout offers down the line. You have to be 21 or older and physically located in Colorado. Please gamble responsibly. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER.
And we are back, segment 2. Throw us a like if you're watching this live. If you're late to the show, leave us a comment down below. Let us know what you're thinking about the previous topics or about these topics coming up, which I think will be very interesting. But first, this first one, maybe it's interesting.
Hold that thought for like 5 minutes.
Don't hold me to it.
People are interested in this topic more than I am personally, but I will say last
Christian
year...
Braun's girlfriend?
No, not that one. We're not even on the docket.
That was some pre-show
Don't
banter.
care. Don't care. You know, I mean, we can talk about it if you want. Last year, before the season,
we don't care.
Where did Jamal Murray go to get ready for the season?
He worked out with Vogt, the UFC fighter.
And this year, dropping just this week, we have a sighting of Jamal Murray allegedly down in Australia. Is it the same fighter, Volk?
Yes.
That is Vogt.
That's the same guy. That's his guy, Volk.
That's his guy.
Murray loves himself some MMA, man. And he's down in Australia, down under, right now. Any thoughts on this? Is this a topic?
I like it.
You like a little MMA? He loves MMA, man.
Yeah.
I feel like there's
Little
no better
hand-to-hand
breeding
combat.
ground to get that dog in you than through fighting another man through hand-to-hand combat.
It's hard to argue.
Like, I would love for that to be Devin Booker that he has in the head in a choke.
Oh, you know what? Kale, save the photo, Photoshop purposes
I
later
would think
on.
it would
that could be a photo we come back
That
to.
would be incredible if that was Giannis Antetokounmpo or Woj.
Yeah.
Like I like Murray.
Good callback.
Yeah, I like Murray like tapping into his like angry.
Or one of us.
Oh, definitely me or me. Vote. Give me a break.
It's definitely both.
Yeah.
But this is good, man. Like you want him to be like more angry, aggressive. These are the things we want of the Denver Nuggets, for them to have a guy that like is, sort of a jerk, boisterous. I mean, maybe he's prepping to play with Russell Westbrook. So it's entirely possible. But like listen, like there are lots of ways to get in shape and stay in shape. I like that he's passionate about this, and it's good.
Yeah, so I think they met, or I believe they met last year when Jamal was in Australia on some promo event tour, and apparently they struck up a friendship. Jamal has been with him at some of his fights.
Yeah, walks out with him
Walks,
sometimes.
does the whole ring walk with him, and so I guess he just went back, for another trip to see him. I like it because it seems like Jamal really enjoys it. I feel like this could put him in a good maybe headspace. Maybe it clears his mind before training camp starts up next week. And also, I heard from friend of the show Josh Barnett down under.
Oh.
He says that Jamal is going to be at a NRL playoff game on Saturday, National Rugby League in Australia.
Okay.
Got a little scoop there from Josh Barnett.
Does Jamal know the
Cornering
rules?
The kind of maybe I don't want to say alternative because they're both huge sports respectively, but usually you see
That's true.
NBA players at other football games or whatever, the same kind of places. But Jamal's
MMA and
got his
rugby
own.
are kind of in the same quadrant, aren't they?
Yeah, it's kind of like I don't want to
Blood sports.
There's extreme sports over there, and then there's blood sports. They're kind of
Yeah.
roughly connected.
Yeah.
The only thing I am. So we were worried about a severe Jamal Murray injury. So I don't know.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't know.
it is a thing.
It's one way or another. Maybe
listen,
maybe he feels great.
It's better to be calloused than to be bubble wrapped.
That's so good,
Like
man.
you want to come in like sharpened by iron. You want to come in and having no fear of anybody else on the court. This to me is his push-ups in the snow, man. Like,
It
Yeah,
is.
but all right, but he
Yeah.
did this last year, man, and then we
it didn't
talked
work
about
out
what
at all.
everyone did after.
No, it was a disaster
That's a
last
great
Hang
year.
on, we did this last year, and then it
He's
was
like, I don't
their
like being the
weakest year
100, yeah.
mentally ever.
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
But
No,
otherwise, good point.
I'm with you guys that I think it's cool. I will say this. Muscle Watch 2024. Looks
Muscle
good.
Watch, yeah, he does, and I think honestly, it's again just to
hair?
hit on the. No, it's good for guys in sports to connect with their brain stems, get back into
Yeah.
the reptilian part of their brain,
yeah,
that's
Eric.
where they're
I
not
love
thinking
this.
about what's the perception, do I look good on camera? What is IG gonna say about this? It's just
Right.
I'm gonna fucking kill you.
Yeah.
That's what I want from
Dude,
my
we should
NBA
do a little
stars.
outing. Even let the fellas go to the MMA.
Yeah, listen, man. I'm not going to play the 3-on-3 basketball. As has been pointed out, there's a lot
not?
of because I'm going to tear my knee apart.
Will you shoot a soundboard?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
No, I'll shoot. I'm just not going to run back and forth. But if you guys want to wrestle, I will fucking absolutely.
We're going to play a new game called Closest to the Pin. We got a
Okay.
graphic for this? A little closest to the pin?
It's not my proudest graphic, but it's
All right. Four heads next to a little golf
Well,
ball.
you
Is
can't-
that your eyeball on the golf ball?
It's his face.
Dude, we
You know
kind
what
of
I mean on the graphic.
we kind of look like the Serbian team on the podium, just kind of tilted.
The leaning tower of fellas.
A little closest to the pin, guys. Speaking of Jamal Murray, what would you guess his points per game was in October and November combined last season? Go first over here.
Great question.
17.4 points per game.
17.4.
I think he came shot out of the cannon pretty hot. I think it's probably 24 points.
I'll say 21.2.
The right answer is 16.3.
Dang.
We hit it to
Time
the
out, guys.
hater. We hit
How
it
long
to
have
the
we been
hater.
doing this together?
I know.
Murray came out of the cannon. What?
I thought he did. Didn't
The
he?
Nuggets did.
I thought whatever. Who knows?
Jamal Murray, notorious
Every
slow
day.
Well,
starter.
he only played 8 games because he
No,
didn't
he's-
miss a large stretch.
I
of
know.
that.
I mean, I know. Yeah. Like, then he got hurt. Whatever. I was wrong. What can I say?
But I mean, it goes to show that again, this is the thing. Like, we'll know early with Jamal this year. We just will. He never has those good ones. We've talked about it a lot. But 16.3 almost puts it in more of a perspective of like, oh man, that was he had as many 12-point games as 20.
It's why I would double, triple, quadruple that. There's nothing I want to see in those 2 months combined more than 20 plus from Jamal Murray. I would take it above anything else.
I simply cannot wait to blame this on MMA.
Yeah.
It's going to be
Is
great.
that what we did last year? I forgot.
Probably.
Next one. Closest to the pin, we'll start with you, D-Line.
Okay.
Nuggets offensive rating last season in 204 minutes in which Jamal Murray, Nikola Jokic, and Christian Braun were on the court together. Offensive rating.
What is that? Oh my
Oh,
god!
should I have gotten to Harrison to this one? Do you have a ballpark
No, I
number?
mean I have a ballpark.
It's above 100.
Yeah, I'm going to say 110.
110?
I'll say 120.
120?
I'll just go 115.
115?
115.
Split the diff.
127.36.
I'll take
Damn it, dude.
An incredible, again, in 204 minutes, it's not the most minutes, but again, it was extremely successful and a 22.79 net rating. The real tragedy of this is 204 minutes because I'm telling you, the more I think about it, the more I'm just like, Christian's gonna crush in that role. One of the things about KCP is he never shot the ball, and you could say, okay, well, what are you missing? He never shot. But it's also a boon to him. Like, hey, he didn't shoot, which is great. You have other guys that shoot. They just fill in the gaps. I think that he's going to fill in the gaps in a way that surprises people.
I also think there's a chance that Jamal Murray, Nikola Jokic, Michael Porter Jr., they just become a little more selfish offensively.
Could be.
You know, if Nikola Jokic has the ball going to the paint for a floater, last year maybe he passes it out to KCP, he's open.
Yeah.
Maybe he just takes the shot this time because it's Christian Braun out there in place of KCP. Maybe they become a
I
little
don't
more
know if-
selfish.
Maybe. I don't even know if that's good. I mean, what do you think? When you hear that number, does it mean something? It's only 204 minutes.
Of course
but
it
that's not
does.
nothing.
I mean, of course it does. It just shows that that's the baseline of them just being put together without having any time to really gel. That there's something about the combination of those three players' personality and their skill set that has given success. So I mean, we're in this weird place where we are coming into the season with many of the same players, yet it's still a great unknown.
Yeah.
And it's going to be really interesting, obviously, to see how it plays out. It was really Ogi Stojakovic yesterday told us that he's really expects a big leap from Christian Braun, which if you want to, I mean, there's us you can listen to, they're just hopeful, but the guys that are actually working with them, which gave me a lot of confidence. It makes me feel like, I don't know, pumped to go into
It's
the
also
season.
when you just have Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray, and Michael Porter Jr., if you don't have an elite offense with those three on the floor, something's
Right.
very, very wrong. So, like,
Yes.
you could really plug anybody in, I think, for Christian Braun, he could be Torrey Craig. He could be Austin Rivers there.
Yeah.
And that offense is going to be elite. But I think Christian Braun does have a lot of the skill set to take that offense even above elite.
And 120, and that's a 104 defensive rating, which we all believe. Like, that's a number we think, yeah, that makes
the
sense.
offense is the biggest question, but it's not really a question when you have Jokic out there.
But is it crazy to think that it might actually be better? Like, I know the KCP, and I think in playoffs is almost different than regular season because you're then talking about, okay, it's just going to come down to some shots and teams are going to force this or that.
Yeah.
But in the regular season, like, Christian Braun has more energy, plays hard, he might grab more rebounds, he might dunk harder, finish at the rim better. You know, those types of things. What would you guess the offensive rating is going to be with those guys? I think last year the starters were like 122. I can look it up while you're talking.
I'm going to say, I think someone in the chat threw out like 118. I mean, I would say like 120-ish, 120, maybe a little bit lower than that. It could be totally fine. It really could. especially if Christian is cutting really hard, hitting his shots at a high enough clip. You made the right point that it's not that you don't necessarily need your fifth best player to be a guy who's super dynamic offensively. Sometimes it can help when they're very funneled and very channeled. But I do think there are other things that KCP could do occasionally. I don't know if they're necessary. I know that they helped. Every now and then he could dribble. Every now and then he got to that foul line jumper. When Murray was out for extended periods, they put the ball in his hands a little bit, not a ton, but a little. Will that work out with Christian Braun? How much does that impact the ceiling or the floor? I don't know, but I think Christian Braun will be better than people expect. Will it be better than KCP? I'm not there yet.
Well, by the way, I just looked it up. I was wrong. 126 offensive rating for the starters last year. So 128 basically with Christian and those smaller minutes. But 126, like if you expand those minutes, they played 1,000 together, the starters. Odds are your number comes down the more minutes you add. So it'll be hard to be better than 126, man. That's insane.
Yeah. I don't see them being better than that in the regular season.
Yeah. Let's take our last break on the other side. Who guards Jokic most? We'll get to that.
Shout out to our friends over at UC Health. They have a new campaign going. Ready, Set, Co. Ready, Set, Co. We are so excited to partner up with our friends at UC Health. Coach Prime of the 2-1 Colorado football team. University of Colorado football team. They want to help you and other Coloradans be your healthiest selves as the Chief Motivation Officer of UC Health's Ready, Set, Co. Challenge. The goal of the challenge is to get Colorado back to its rightful place as the healthiest state. We've fallen off, apparently. I don't know what happened.
I'm sorry. I've been stressed.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't been keeping up my end of the bargain either.
It's my bad, dude.
Also, all those transplants. They've knocked us down on our standing as the healthiest state to live in. We've got to regain our title. So if you want to join UC Health's Ready, Set, Co. Challenge, click the link in the show notes or go to uchealth.org/Ready, Set, Co. Here are some of their talking points for the Ready, Set, Co. Challenge. Some of the pillars of the challenge. Don't sleep on sleep. 8 hours of sleep is the magic number. Make a good night's sleep a priority. Put your phone down when you go to bed. Try guided sleep apps and plan your bedtime based on your wake-up time. And make sure you get enough time in bed. You heard that, Dylan? Make sure you get enough time in bed.
No problem there.
uchealth.org/Ready,
That's
Set,
the
Go.
one box I have checked. Toyota helps Coloradans of all types get to all types of destinations in our great state. You might be interested in trucks. Well, you already know the trucks have been a part of Toyota's DNA. For generations, they built durable legends. You know this. You might be conquering off-road trails. You might be looking to haul something. You might actually be trying to get some work done. Shoot, you might be farming out here. A lot of trucks where I grew up that don't have any business being in the hands of the people that own them. Coloradans, they might have a use for a truck. You might also be a Coloradan who does not want a truck. You might be looking for a balance between the smooth city ride, but also something you feel safe in the mountains. Maybe you're looking for just a low or zero emission vehicle. Good news is Toyota offers more of those combined than any other automaker. So again, no matter what kind of Coloradan you are, you belong in a Toyota. Visit your Front Range Toyota stores at a location near you. AutoNation Toyota Arapahoe in Centennial, Corwin Toyota in Boulder, Groove Toyota in Littleton, Mountain States Toyota in Denver, Stevenson Toyota East in Aurora, Stevenson Toyota West in Lakewood. Toyota is a proud partner of the Denver Nuggets and the official vehicle of DNVR.
We are back, segment 3. Throw us a like because we got some great stats for you here. Closest to the pin, Harrison, you get to go first. What I like about these ones is we kind of know the answer, but it's cool to have data. According to Second Spectrum, over his 10-year career, who has matched up one-on-one with Jokic the most? And I believe they count these by scoring or assisting possessions. So it's not just minutes, but it's possessions. Who has guarded him the most? Harrison, you go first.
I think it's Rudy Gobert.
That's what I was going to say.
That is correct.
That's what I was going to say.
I mean, it's kind of an easy one. They've been in the division together the whole time. Jokic has been in the league. They play 4 times a year minimum, and then the playoffs, and they're both centers.
Jokic scores or shoots an effective field goal percentage of 59.5% against Rudy Gobert. That's wild. That's a very efficient
against
score
the
to be going
defensive player of the year.
Could go a long way into why everyone seems to think Rudy Gobert sucks. Congratulations, your 4-time
So true.
defensive player of the year era lines up perfectly with having to guard Jokic the
So
most.
true.
Congrats, man.
If you type that number into a calculator, it just spits out, I have 47, bro.
I have 47.
Yeah.
That's what
exactly.
that's what it says on there.
If you turn it
Number
upside
2.
down.
Yeah.
You get to go next, Vogt. Number 2.
I honestly have no idea, so this will be great. I'm not going to say Wendell Carter Jr.
Why not?
No, just that's a different discussion that he always comes up in. Number 2,
Most frequent defender.
okay. Well, he runs from him a lot, but let's throw Anthony Davis out there.
Anthony Davis is 5th. 5th most with 960 direct matchups. By the way, Rudy Gobert, 1,360. Only 2 players have more than 1,000. Rudy Gobert has a 1,360. So that was number 5. We're going to talk about Anthony Davis in a second, but effective field goal percentage, 55.25, which is still pretty good when you consider it direct, trying to score over him is pretty good. And that's weighed down by the early years, by the way, as well. You want to take a stab at another top fiver? We have 1 and 5 so far.
DeAndre Ayton.
DeAndre Ayton, number 3.
Great poll.
972 direct matchups. Jokic shooting 56.7% against him in those ones, which is really efficient as well. What do you think of that? DeAndre Ayton.
I mean, Jokic has absolutely feasted on DeAndre Ayton, and then DeAndre Ayton then became the most effective defender against Jokic, and then Jokic
Solved him one
re-barbecued
again?
him. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's kind of what I expected.
We have 1, 3, and 5. 2 and 4 are open win. Do you want to take a guess? Most
Give
frequent.
me Zubats.
Ivica Zubac is number 7.
Damn,
Very
that was
good
a
guess.
terrible guess.
I liked that.
Well, I
guess,
mean,
though.
it's a pretty good guess. It's number
it's
7.
Apparently, bad guess.
Everybody that's ever guarded him is pretty good and pretty effective. 52.13. Second on so far, only to Anthony. Nope. The number 1 of the guys we've mentioned so far.
How about? Can we stay in Minnesota? How about Karl Anthony Towns?
Karl Anthony Towns, 4th most. And of the guys we've mentioned, the best. 50% effective field goal percentage. Now we all know that's not Karl Anthony Towns. That's Rudy Gobert off of Jokic. You don't get credit for that, but I'm certain that it's not just Towns on it. But Towns was number 4, and statistically speaking, has been the best so far. So there's one last one, and you guys will all kick yourselves when you hear it.
Is it Nurkic?
Is it Nurk?
Yusuf Nurkic,
Yeah,
number
that was my
2,
other guess.
1,005 possessions, and Jokic shoots 56% against him. Or effective field goal percentage.
2, though, even with the brief period
I
of
didn't
time?
go Nurkic because I thought he was injured too much.
They play in the division, or they did.
Oh, yeah.
Then they
they always
matched
have,
up
right?
in a playoff. So that's like really what you have to kind of think
Yeah,
about.
the
like, when you go
playoffs
through
does a
this.
lot of heavy lifting there.
Also, people seem to think it's like a good. Yeah, we'll put Nurkic on him.
Right.
And Jokic's like, word.
I've been against him so many times.
Yeah.
Gobert, Nurkic, Ayton, Towns, Davis. After that, you go Steven Adams, Ivica Zubac, Jakob Poeltl, which is kind of interesting, Clint Capella, and then this one really surprised me, Enes Kanter / Freedom.
Can't play Cantor.
Isn't
Can't
that
play
kinda
him.
wild?
Would you take a freaking look at this?
I know. Take a
at
freaking
NBA?
look at second spectrum, dude.
Of those guys, Jokic has filleted Poeltl the most, effective field goal percentage of
Filleted
62%.
Until he.
That sounds like a dish of food.
After that,
I
you
know,
go Bam
delicious.
Adebayo.
Filet of
Bam
Poeltl.
Adebayo. If we now go to
Something Brendan
efficiency
just
here,
had.
so let's go to efficiency. Because again, all right, now these are just points off of direct, like I'm trying to score over you. And this is in the half court, by the way, too. This is not like transition. This is pretty good. You get the first start. Who do you think he fillets the most of guys that he has matched up with at least 300 times in his career?
Dwight Powell.
Dwight Powell is not on the list here.
Really?
I think. He is 12th. He was 12th.
Really?
Yep. He is 12.
Oh, is no way Daniel Gafford's played enough
Hold on.
times.
Yeah, 58%, 58.5% effective field goal percentage. Harrison,
300 attempts.
at least.
Who he's filleted the most. So who he's just scored on the most.
You should know this, honestly. There is one team that it's always like he always murders this team.
Oh.
Valanciunas?
Yeah.
Valanciunas, number 1.
Great
he
guess.
shoots, listen to this, in 653 matchups, which is a lot. He is shooting 65.3%.
Oh my God.
effective field goal
Thank you.
percentage.
I'll be here all week.
The funny thing is
I mean, I
sometimes
gave you I led you to the water pretty close there.
sometimes Val will for a half score well on him on the other end, or make it look just harder. I don't know what it is, but Jokic is I'm trying against you every time. I'm sorry, man, but it's not gonna be I take it easy tonight effort. You're just gonna get destroyed. And those Pelicans games are always close, and Valanciunas even seems like a good and effective player, but the one-on-one stuff, Jokic just bullies him, and I almost feel bad.
What it is that he is both faster than Big Val, but also stronger.
Yeah.
It's such a rare combination, but that's just kind of how it works.
Well, I was talking with Reggie Jackson in the locker room last year about that specific matchup, and he said that he thinks Jokic letting Valanciunas score isn't how to phrase it, but he's okay if Valanciunas looks to score on him.
Totally.
Because it tires him out. And then Jokic can just go right at him on the other end. That was how Reggie Jackson looked at that matchup.
No, it's a great point because there are just some times where it feels like, man, Big Val always plays him well, or these are tight games. But you're right. It's it's almost part of. There's Nurkic has some of this too. Jokic kind of suckers you into this one-on-one matchup is a good idea, but it's not.
Any guesses now for the rest of the top 5 here?
People that he fillets.
Yeah.
Wembanyama.
No, well, I don't know if he has 300 matchups against him.
maybe
Yeah.
not.
Daniel Gafford.
No, Gafford surprisingly not on. Let me see where Gafford falls.
Must
on
just
this
be
one.
not
It
enough.
doesn't make sense. Yeah,
Must just
he's
be
not.
not
He doesn't
enough.
have 300 against him.
That's gotta
Oh yeah, he's in the East.
That's gotta be it.
Number 2 is Naz Reid.
65.
65% effective field goal percentage and 313 possessions. The playoffs, if you remember, he was murdering him when they matched up.
Right.
Number
half of those came in game 5 probably.
Number 3 was Alex Len, which surprisingly has played 429 direct matchups on Alex Len.
The sacrificial lamb of the
Sacrificial
some
lamb,
couple
dude.
Western Conference teams.
Multiple.
Alex Len might pop up on a lot of guys' lists.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
A pretty funny one, Jared Allen, who's a really good defender, 512 matchups with Jokic, 63.6%. Just smokes him.
Yeah.
Huh.
And then rounding out the top 5, Miles Turner, another guy that is like a great rim protector. And all these guys that we mentioned, with the exception of Alex Len, wasn't on my radar. I would not have guessed he matched up that much. But the other 4, Turner, Allen, Naz Reid, and Valanciunas, are all guys that were like, yeah, Jokic just seems to not care about those guys. He smokes them. And the numbers bear it out. Thought that was pretty fun.
It's true.
You guys like that?
Jokic's good.
Rounding out the list, Jakob Poeltl, LaMarcus Aldridge, Enes Kanter, Steven Adams, and then Rudy Gobert, number 10, makes the top 10 for players Jokic cooks, and he's the 4-time Defensive Player of the Year. Absolutely wild.
Well, can't wait for next season when we play the Timberwolves 4 more times. Gobert and
Towns
Reid on the list.
and
Towns, the best Jokic defender.
Jokic. So there's a whole.
the
It's
Jokic
just,
stopper.
we know what that matchup's about.
So here's an interesting one for you to think about. What would you guess? The Second Spectrum ranked something called crash. And crash is just you start at one spot and then you end closer or further from the basket, and it takes your team average, together. Where do you think Denver is? This really is supposed to measure how much do you crash the offensive boards. Where do you think Denver would rank? If again, a little bit of a noisy metric, but where would you guess they rank in crashing the boards?
Last. I'll just say last.
I was gonna say bottom 10. So it's
That's
pretty
a big,
wide.
that's
Pretty
a big
wide
range.
window.
Just take a number. 20.
Okay, 24th.
Third.
27th.
Yeah.
27th. The
Damn.
Nuggets do not crash the boards, but
Jokic is the only one that crashes, and I doubt he really shows up in that stat.
But interestingly enough, then you look at conversion relative to crash. Denver's second best.
Well, it's because of Jokic.
Well, but then
Jokic is just an insane offensive rebounder.
exactly. And then also AG sneaky good at that, and Porter's every time doesn't do it a lot, but when he does it, he's effective.
Michael Porter actually stood out when we talked about players. He was one of the guys that stood out as the most efficient crashers. When he crashes, he grabs boards. Christian Braun also on that list.
Yeah, I think Porter's might be a little. His defender's convinced he's just standing still again, and then boom, he's gone.
See, my sister also very efficient crasher. Gone through like 4 cars.
Please don't.
Jokic
true.
on the offensive glass is so insane, though, because
Yeah.
he can't jump.
Yeah,
He doesn't have he has a standard reach for like a 7-footer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's not like jumping over dudes, but his timing, his
Yeah. His first jump,
his
second jump.
first jump, his second jump, how he's able to tip the ball to himself, tip the ball to other teammates. It's one of the more insanely underrated parts of his game.
It's so specific. It's such a specific skill, and one of the funny ways in which Jokic is very athletic. He does not need to load up to jump. So the second, third, fourth, those bunny, all these other guys that can get up there, they're loading up for this big leap, and Jokic is a pogo stick.
Like when you watch Jokic and another center side by side, you almost are looking at the other guy, and you're like, that guy, his timing is the worst I've ever seen.
Right.
He can't time an offensive rebound because Jokic is just there at the right moment every single time.
Yeah, I mean, Jokic is quick. He's not fast. It's like Jokic somehow has solved the tip-off also. Like, he wins an inordinate number of tip-offs, and he is not, I would guess, if you tracked it and they had to jump up and hit the little to test their jump, he wouldn't rank that high. But his timing is just dead on.
Is it P3? What is the training? Do you remember
P3 with the second jump.
I think that was the second jump, right, where he rated the highest they'd ever seen in quickness. So your instincts are correct. He gets off quicker than anyone they'd ever tested at that. So it is a real skill. And some of these crash numbers and conversions, it's like if you have a guy who's great at grabbing the board and you crashed and could have also got the board except for your guy got the board, like Jokic probably does steal some of these because of how good he is at it.
He's among other things too, just the world's best garbage man. Like, guys will spend 17 seconds, just throw up the worst stuff you've ever seen, and Jokic's just like, guys, here's how you score. It's easy.
We ran out of time to get to the jersey thing. We'll push it to Friday. It feels like a Friday thing anyway.
Sure.
Sorry, D-Line.
You have to be on the show Friday.
Is that what the sorry is for?
That's sorry, buddy. But instead, Vogt, you went on vacation. You had a good time.
This is what I got bumped for? Vacation stories? All right, go ahead.
We've got time.
You went on vacation. You had a great time, did you not?
Do you have 15 minutes of vacation?
I got 15 minutes of vacation. I got 15 minutes of vacation.
On D-line's side.
All right, start on the flight over. How was the flight over?
No. I'm not. We've already gotten to that part of the story. We already got into it. Instead, it's time to blind rank theoretical vacations. You get to blind rank, and we're all going to talk about how fun or not fun these vacations would be. Since you come back, you're fresh off vacation.
How was the food on the
You can
transatlantic
blind
flight?
rank. So vacation blind rank, Kale. What do we have first for Vogt? Our vacation expert. Murray at an MMA event in Vegas. You and Murray ringside MMA.
First follow-up question.
Credential denied.
Yeah.
No,
By the way, you have 10 slots.
yeah,
You have 10 slots.
he's invited you to this in theory. So
Is it to fight me though?
Right, that feels
funny
right.
if you're like, wait a second, I'm
Getting
invited.
choked out in Vegas by
Yeah.
Jamal
You know
Murray.
what? I'll say I'll go 8.
Yeah.
I've never been to an MMA event, and
It does seem cool though. Ringside.
I don't think to get fluids of the fighter.
No, but here's what I'm saying. In allotted time where Jamal can dedicate as much time as he wants to MMA, and we can talk about just MMA together. No other questions.
Sounds all right. Then Vegas. All right. So you think this is like all right?
I mean, this is all, this is very, what does
coming
Vogt,
next?
what
We
does
don't
Vogt
know.
want to do? Yeah.
I know. I thought we could just talk about it. But
Oh, okay.
Sounds like a vacation you'd take.
Yeah, I like Vegas.
Okay.
MMA in Vegas, like front row access. That sounds fun.
Sure.
I'd like that. I'd probably go maybe a tiny bit higher, maybe 6 or 7.
Dude,
Well,
that's-
it is Vogt's list.
I was
though, but we
thinking
can
you
all-
could go out in Vegas with Murray after, except he's probably just like trying to cut weight, like spit in a bottle or something, get ready for the next fight. That's an MMA joke, not
All
a
right,
weight joke.
What,
That's an MMA joke.
What's our next one, Kale? Weekend in New York with Malone.
1.
Yeah, that's an absolute one. That's number one with a bullet, dude.
Take
Yeah.
the train to the garden.
Oh, you guys talking New York to each other?
I'm gonna make it. I'm not gonna go 1. I'm actually gonna go 5 though.
5? That's lower than I thought.
Okay, fine, 4.
You
Yeah, let's
have
go
to
for
spend a minimum of 30 minutes a day with Jeff Van Gundy.
That's so true.
Can't get a word.
Talking ball.
Yeah, no, that actually sounds. Yeah, Malone.
Deep dive in film.
Show me the Michael Malone watering holes. Show me the Malone family spots in New York
man.
City. Let's get some good
Tour
pizza,
the
brother.
Catholic schools in the area.
talk trash about the front office together. That's a joke. That's a joke. That's another joke. It's another joke. I like the front office.
Do you? What do you think?
I mean, it'd be incredible, dude. Like if you go to New York, you want to go with the local. You don't.
That's true.
You don't want to you want to go to the spot. And he's like old school New York.
Yeah.
He'll show you a place like his friend got his teeth knocked out.
Yeah,
Stuff like that.
totally.
Yeah.
He knows somebody somehow at every establishment,
totally.
everywhere.
Yeah.
It's
One of my best friend got beat up.
Totally,
That's
yeah.
cool, man.
That's all of his stories are the same.
You're not going to Katz's. You're not going to the bullshit spots. He's taking you to the real pizza spot.
Tour of alleys, he's got beat up.
Yeah, exactly.
What's next? Rakia and racetrack in Sombor with Jokic.
Oh man, this might be.
And
Little
those
weird.
dogs.
Sorry, not my list. Not my list.
And those dogs who barked at
Rakia
us.
and racetrack in Sombor with Yoke.
I'm gonna go. I don't know what else is on the list, so I can't use
Gets
it.
blind rank.
I'm gonna go 2.
Oh, I can't believe he's going 2 here.
I'm gonna go 2.
The number one's going to be whatever AG is doing. We all know that.
Yeah, because that's gonna be like
It's going to be,
Hold on.
it's gonna be an
Paris.
absolute vibe fest.
Yeah.
What do you?
We were not that far away from this.
But we're far from Yoke.
But I mean, the point with the yoke part, you're right. I don't know that he would enjoy talking to any of us. But it also, you're watching horses run. Like
In
how
theory,
excited can
all
you-
of them are enjoying hosting you here. You know, I don't think Michael Malone would want to take you to all those alleys
Listen,
either. But
sitting and drinking rakia is something I'm into. It just
Yeah.
works for me.
and betting the horses.
And betting the horses.
all right, next one. What do we got? Gordon smoking
Yeah, see,
weed
there
in
it
his
is.
house.
There it is.
Bang, number 1, still on the board.
Just hanging out with AG on the old
Absolute-
basketball court.
yeah.
Just
Absolute
getting
vibe
ripped.
fest.
Getting up some shots.
Oh, sorry if you're rolling your eyes at the smoking weed thing, but it's number 1.
It's
It's number 1 for
You
sure.
can paint an astronaut.
Kale and I basically did this. We were just late to the weed part.
That's a pretty good time, huh?
Yeah, we did get to see
All right,
the warehouse.
What else do we got? Josh Kroenke, yacht in the Mediterranean.
Whoa.
Damn it.
I know. Dang, dude. That's tough.
It's a pretty big yacht, man. I
This
don't
is a
know if 13
throwback,
billion
man.
gets a good yacht.
It's a good
Really
one.
pulled the rug out from under me with this one.
You're
Well, I
like,
gotta-
sorry, man, I'm busy. I'm smoking weed
Yeah.
at AG's apartment.
I actually still,
I'm with Michael Malone in New York City.
bro. I think I would still have AG number 1. Like even
It's a good hang, man.
it's a really good,
hang.
absolute vibe fest.
and you know, Sombor's nice, but a yacht in the Mediterranean. Okay, I will just say this quickly. I finally got to be around money this week.
Yeah?
It's awesome.
This is great.
Yacht, put it at number 3.
It's a pretty good one, man.
It's great.
Pretty good one. All right, what do we have next?
I feel like Malone weekend in New York City is too high.
Yeah, I kind of feel like that you get too drunk the first night and he leaves you alone somewhere where you got robbed.
Yeah,
He
You're
doesn't-
doesn't
I'm
answer his
eating
phone the
pizza
next
for
day.
Another day.
We don't like each other very much.
Zeke Naji visiting the courts he built in Nigeria.
This is
That'd be fun.
Are you a good person?
Yeah, this is you really because that's actually awesome.
So you just look like an asshole if you don't put this.
Wow,
spot.
you're putting this 9?
No.
Dude, what the hell is wrong with
He
you?
has no idea what the last 4 choices are.
It's not, and it's not just courts too. It's like he's helping those kids get their education.
That dude
There's
is-
like a math
Yeah.
and STEM part involved. I have to put this at 5, and then
You
you know
don't. You
what?
absolutely do not have to put this at 5. Like,
No, I'm doing it. And
All
here's
right.
the other thing. I want to check in with the original friend of the show, Zeke Naji,
Yeah.
and just see how he's feeling.
See how he's feeling, man.
This is amazing.
This is amazing, but he doesn't want to be perceived
No, I'm
as a
going to
bad
get
person.
great points on the internet. for that
Vlatko
one.
Chanchar, Slovenian road trip.
Ooh,
Wow, this is
that looks like you need a
amazing.
boat for
Well,
that
you're
picture,
bottom
but-
5. It's
Is
easily-
that where Luca got married? Kind of looks like it.
I
It
didn't.
might be. That's like the most famous spot in Slovenia.
It looks gorgeous.
I was in. I was in a spot very close to that.
Yacht party with a billionaire in the Mediterranean, or visit the kids in Nigeria. All right, you guys are jerks. Okay, I'll go 6. I'll go 6 for the Slovenia.
All right, number 6. I mean, they've all been good though. You know, like they've all
I've
been good
noticed
here. Klatko, Slovenian road trip. I love it. What do we have next, Kale? We got 3 more choices here,
3
man.
more, man.
And they're all going to be the worst ones. Hunter Tyson, hunting trip in Carolina.
10 because he's gonna get us killed trying to fight all the animals.
I know.
PJ Hall's probably there.
Yeah.
You guys.
And he's
you're
gonna
up
try
at
to
a tree stand.
fight
This
the
is like
black bear.
I feel like during this weekend you would be the hunter and the hunted.
I would.
at a certain point.
That's so good. So good.
Hunting the deadliest prey of all. Man.
But Hunter.
Much like the Jamal thing, I want to double check why I'm invited to this.
Yeah,
one.
totally.
It's like, why? What's the
He wants to play a real life hunter versus hunted game.
Wedding Crashers? I don't even know what a quail looks like.
I've never taken anything's life before. You know, it seems tough.
You've never felt that.
What
rush.
about this show?
that rush.
Ready to hate yourself?
All right, what is the last two? What do we got? The fellas back to Serbia.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my
This
What
is
the
cool.
hell, dude?
Jokes on you guys. Done this one already.
Number 9.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Let's see. Well, I don't know what's left. I'll just put it at 7.
Oh, at 7 just to be safe. He's put.
Just to be
I
safe.
don't really like you guys that much either.
All right, the fellas in Serbia would be great though, wouldn't it? Another trip back. I'm down,
I mean,
man.
it would
So, just to clarify, this next one is number 9.
This is number 9, the second least favorite thing you'd rather do,
What'd you do to me?
and it is Italy with your girlfriend. What the hell, Vogt? What the hell,
Tough.
bro? I'm sending this to her
man.
right after the show.
Oh,
You know we're live on the internet, dude.
I
We're
can't
live right
believe
now.
it, dude. What the heck, man?
tough.
I mean, look again. I've done it already.
That's a great
That's
point.
true.
Don't,
Life's
don't
about
need to
new
go back, Don't need
experiences.
to do it again.
Yeah.
Italy with your girlfriend.
Well, I mean, yeah. You guys screwed me. You guys screwed. Would I swap that with Zeke and the kids in Nigeria? No, because I'm trying to score points on the internet.
There you go. We got any super chats?
Yeah, just a couple.
That was a fun game.
That was really fun.
Yeah, I thought it was timely, you know.
That was good. That was good.
I still want to hear more about Vogt's actual trip.
Yeah, we didn't get to that.
I thought that was the
That's
segment.
not as interesting.
Cedric Exquisite, welcome back, Vogt. What was your favorite site?
Oh, here we
in
go.
God.
Cedric
Italy?
read my mind.
I mean, site is like Florence was unbelievable. You could spend a whole week there just
Maybe my
sightseeing
favorite
more.
city.
I spent a lot of time though in like the remote Tuscany hills. Like we saw some old medieval towns, some old
Yeah.
forts. It
Were you
was
staying in a villa?
we stayed in a very, very nice villa. At one point, I was like, no one else is in this villa. They bought it out. They bought the whole villa out. It was quite the week.
It turns out I have no idea what this trip is about. Were you just hanging out with finance bros? What happened?
Kinda.
My best high school buddy, who's done quite well for himself, married someone who's also done quite well for herself, and it was a very, very, very nice time in Italy. The best part, though, Diane and I, that picture, we went to a cooking class in Tuscany. This woman invited us to her farm, like way up on the hill, and she taught us how to make pasta, focaccia, and other things, all from the same ingredients, just egg and flour.
Yeah.
It was a beautiful day. We tried her wine. We made some food, and it was. I love you guys, but at that moment, I didn't miss the show.
You're like, could I never come back?
Yeah.
Could I just disappear here?
That's how I feel right now, actually.
And then finally, Ulysses Ventura. Nikola
gotten
is
smaller.
probably playing League of Legends right now. He's just like me, for real, for real.
It's probably true.
Probably.
He's probably crying. Like, one more week, no.
I know.
To come back.
Do you guys want to know the funny? Bro, I'll end on this
I
note
could fit
because
a vacation in with Michael Malone in New York City.
online the
trading
bit
camp.
has carried over. Everyone accused all those photos of my girlfriend of being AI or photoshopped.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I just want you guys to know I'm back in Denver, and she's actually still in LA. There was a wedding for the
sounds
weekend,
about
and
right.
she's literally there right now.
sounds
So,
right.
That does sound right.
You'll meet her
I can't wait to
eventually.
meet her.
I
Let
promise.
us
No,
know
I
you
swear.
go.
She's
I've met her.
Yeah.
I did meet her. I met her one
No,
time.
you're killing the beat. You're killing the beat.
Oh, sorry.
Everybody, thanks so much for watching. Let us know in the comments how you would order those vacations. They're all Italy with Vogt's girlfriend.
Don't pick that number one. Don't do that. It's me.
Let us know otherwise. Thanks for hanging out with us. We got one more show of the week tomorrow. We'll see you then.